Happy Monday. It is time to meal plan for the week. So my goal this week is to use what I have in the house and come up with our meals before I get any groceries. I do want to say that yesterday was Sunday and we ended up having some of these crab noodles. So these are like a special edition chili crab pasta from Mila, which is where I get my favorite soup dumplings from. But anyway, Adam and I split one of these boxes last night. It was super spicy. And so I looked online to see if I could find some ways to kind of tone down the spice a little bit. And I think I found one. So next time I make these, they won't be as hot. But Adam and I had these for dinner along with some of the dumplings. I had a bag of the chicken soup dumplings left that I wanted to use. These are the pho, the beef pho flavor. Those are my absolute favorite. But anyway, that's what we had last night. And then the kids had hot dogs and mac and cheese, and then I cut up some fruit and veggies. So as I'm thinking through what I want to make tonight for dinner, I do have some of these Tortilla Land fresh tortillas. If you guys have never tried these, they are so good. You just kind of cook them up in a pan and they're like the next best thing to fresh tortillas. So I have a package of these. I also have some bell peppers. I think I've got a red bell pepper, I've got a yellow one, and then along with the stuff that I got from the farmer's market, I think I'm gonna make like a quick pico with the onion. I have some cilantro in the fridge, jalapeno and tomato to go with the fajitas. And I think I have everything else that I need. I've got cheese. This is also some shredded cheese I can use. We've got sour cream. I've got chicken in the freezer, so I'll go ahead and get that out so that can get thawed. So I've got 4 chicken breasts, and then I always have some kind of like fajita seasoning or taco seasoning I can use. I actually think I thought I had a jar of fajita seasoning up there, but I don't think I do. So I'll probably just use this taco seasoning and just cook the fajitas on the stovetop. And then in my super messy pantry, which I need to clean this out so bad. It's like so disorganized right now. I always keep rice. In fact, actually, I'm kind of running low on white rice, but I do have some brown rice also. I wonder if I have any tomato sauce that I might, oh, I do have tomato paste, so I could make Spanish rice also. All right, so we've got Monday figured out. And also, I'll go ahead and cut this melon up for us to have with dinner as well. What are you having for dinner, Murphy? What are you having? What are you having for dinner? So tomorrow on Tuesday, I think I'm gonna make this udon noodle recipe because I have a pack of udon noodles in the fridge. It's a tamari hummus udon with crispy pork and then cucumber salad. So Adam actually got a bunch of cucumbers at work from someone he works with from their garden. So I'll go ahead and cut those up and do like, there's this cucumber salad that I make sometimes. It's got like chili flakes in it and rice vinegar. It's really good. Since I filmed this before school started, I wanted to show you guys what I put together for the kids' lunch on this day. I don't always make them lunch in the summer, but I decided to put together like some croissants that I had in the freezer from Wild Grain. I baked those up and then I just cut up some veggies and some fruit. We had pineapple, cucumber, olives, some cheese cubes, and some pickles, and that makes the perfect easy lunch. Okay, so I am excited to let you guys know that today's video is sponsored by Snap Power. So I'm sure that you guys all have these like problem areas in your house too. Like ours is our mudroom here. You know, there's football equipment, soccer equipment, and all of these shoes, even though we have cubbies and everything. So Snap Power makes these awesome lighting solutions. Look what happens when I turn the light out. See? Before we upgraded this outlet cover to the Snap Power guide light, I cannot tell you how many times I would trip over shoes trying to go out to the garage. But Snap Power offers super innovative home lighting solutions to illuminate your life and make your home or your office more beautiful. Not only can you use the Snap Power guide lights in your hallways, but you can also use them to light up a bathroom so you don't have to turn on the lights late at night, or you can also use them on your kitchen backsplash, which is what what we did as well. These are super easy to install. There's no wires involved. There's also no batteries. You don't need to call an electrician, and they install in seconds. They're also super energy efficient. They actually cost less than $1 per year to operate. The Guidelight 2 Plus has bright, dim, and off settings, and LED lights typically last over 25 years. So there's no more bulky, ugly night lights, and also helps save outlet space. So if you want to upgrade your outlet covers to Snap Power guide lights, I'll have a link in the description box below. You can click that to get 15% off your Snap Power guide light order. And I'll also have a button you can tap on the screen right here if you're on your phone. Once again, that's 15% off your Snap Power guide light order. I seriously recommend these. They're one of the most innovative products I've seen in quite a long time, and I love how they look in my house. So like I mentioned, we're gonna have chicken fajitas for dinner tonight. So I'm just gonna wash up my tomatoes and peppers, and then the chicken breast that I got out from the freezer earlier is thawed at this point. It's still a little tiny bit frozen, which actually makes it a lot easier to cut. I like to cut it into pretty thin slices, and then I'll go ahead and put it into a dish with the dry seasoning, and that just gives it time to absorb a little bit of that flavor. I was also able to find my fajita spice mix in the cabinet, so I'm using that in lieu of that taco seasoning. So I like to season this pretty generously, and this particular fajita seasoning doesn't have salt in it, so I'm just going to use that generously and then add my own salt and pepper. And then for the peppers, I actually like to cook these separately because not everyone in my house wants peppers on their fajita. So I normally just saute them up in a separate skillet. So I have one red bell pepper and one yellow bell pepper. So I just slice those pretty thinly, and then I just saute them along with some onions in a skillet with a little bit of oil over medium heat, probably for about 10 to 15 minutes until they're nice and caramelized. And I do season those with some salt and pepper as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get those cooking. I do have the oven set on a low heat just so I can kind of keep everything warm as it cooks, probably about 250. And then I'm going to also go ahead and get my onion diced up for my pico de gallo. This is something actually that I've been making like every single week and having in the fridge just because it goes so well on so many things. And especially if I have leftover meat I can use for lunch, like for a taco salad or tacos or something like that. It just adds like a really fresh element. And I've also been liking to add garlic to it as well. It is really good if you haven't tried that. So I diced up my onion and minced up my garlic, and then next I'm just going to chop my tomatoes really finely, or I guess dice them pretty small pieces, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but words are apparently hard today. These are, again, Roma tomatoes that I got at the farmer's market. And then I got these tiny little jalapeno peppers that were kind of red and green at the farmer's market as well. So putting those all together in a container with a lid so I can store the leftovers in the refrigerator easily. I'm going to squeeze the juice of 2 limes, sprinkle with salt, add some pepper, and then cilantro is the only other thing that I add. Again, you don't necessarily need a recipe for this. In fact, if you measure my ratios, I probably do it fairly differently every time. It's one of those things that you just kind of throw together, taste it. If it tastes good, you know, boom, you're done. If you need more salt, add more salt. If you need more pepper, add more pepper. If you need more lime juice, I usually end up adding more lime juice because I like it to be really, really limey. That's probably not the right word. Limey. I like it to taste a lot like lime juice. Okay, so Spanish rice. I'm going to make this in my rice cooker. You guys always hear me talk about this Instant Pot brand rice cooker. I freaking love it. I use it all the time. I use it multiple times a week. I'm going to see if I can find the recipe I used for that rice cooker Spanish rice and put it in the description box below if I can remember which one I used. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and saute my chicken. So I just have one of my stainless steel skillets that I heated up with oil, cooked my chicken and then threw it in the oven to keep it warm. And then I got all my other ingredients prepped. So I put some cheese out. We have our pico, some sour cream. I also like to kind of, not necessarily toast, but warm up my flour tortillas in a dry skillet. I just think it makes it so much better than doing it in the microwave. I've been doing it that way for a long time. And then I'm also going to cut up this cantaloupe, which was very delicious. The ones at the farmer's market are always so much better than the ones that you can get in the store, at least around here anyway. So I'm just getting the peel off of that. And then I'm going to scoop the seeds out of the middle and cut it into fairly small chunks. Adam and Connor both really like cantaloupe, so anytime I get one, I just cut it all up at the same time because I know we're going to eat it within the next couple days, and then I'll just kind of portion it out and put it in the fridge, and then people can take it for lunches, or we can have it as a side for dinner or breakfast. After my rice was done, I went ahead and fluffed that up and then put the rest of the stuff out on the stove so everyone could make their fajitas how they wanted them. So I'm gonna go ahead and build a couple here. So I've got my warmed up tortilla. I'm gonna add my chicken to that, some cheese. I don't think I added peppers to this one because I think it was for one of the kids. Oh yeah, this was Connor's. So he actually likes fresh chopped tomato on his, and since I had some extra, I went ahead and chopped that up, put it on top of the cheese, added some Spanish rice to the side and some cantaloupe, and that was our delicious dinner on this particular evening using things that I had in the house. All right, so tonight for dinner, I'm gonna make this creamy tamari hummus udon with crispy pork. So here's all the ingredients, and then I have some cucumbers. So I'm gonna make this Thai cucumber salad, which I have made before. I printed off the recipe so I can link it down below. I'm probably gonna like peel these cucumbers halfway and cut them in half and scoop out some of the seeds, just because, well, actually, do I have to do that? Look, the recipe shows regular cucumbers. Maybe I won't mess with that.
I'm pouring water in, salt, Chinese oil, putting some sesame oil on, chopping up some mint, because I like my cucumbers minty fresh, and I'm taking forever. I put it in the bowl. Chopping up some green onions and putting them in the bowl again, and I'm whisking it. I think that's a whisk. Shredding some cucumbers. It's very dangerous, so don't do this unless you're adult, because you could cut your finger off. And put them in the bowl so I can season the cucumber to make them delicious. That's how I like them. I'm doing some more cucumbers, stirring it around, chopping some more green onions.
I just had so much fun listening to that back. Connor came in here as I was editing this video, and he's like, hey, can I help you do your voiceover? I'm like, sure. He's like, what do I do? I said, just tell him what you're doing, or tell him what I'm doing on the screen. So it was his best guess as to what I was doing. Anyway, so I made my cucumber salad. You guys have seen me make that before. I'll put the recipe in the description box below. And now I'm going to make the sauce for the noodles. So it actually calls for some hummus and some other different ingredients like tamari and things that were in the box. And then I minced up some green onions, keeping the whites separate from the greens, and also put some garlic in my garlic press. I am going to go ahead and start sauteing some corn. Once that was done, I removed it from the skillet and then started to saute the pork. So the key to this pork is that you want to saute it with the garlic and the whites of the green onions, and then just keep sauteing it until it's pretty crispy on the outside. That's going to give you some great texture to go with the noodles. I'm going to go ahead and add some of the sauce to that, and then I just boiled the udon noodles for a couple minutes in water, drain them, and then I'm tossing the sauce with that. The hummus is really kind of in place of a more traditional Asian sesame paste, but it's a more accessible ingredient. Once the pork was nice and crispy with the sauce, I seasoned that and put the corn in with it. And then basically you just serve the sauced noodles with the pork and the corn, and then the cucumbers that I made on the side. This was really good. I love Asian noodle dishes. It's kind of a crowd pleaser for everybody. Okay, so tonight is another Marley spoon box meal. I've been loving these lately. I'll leave my discount code down below if you guys are interested in trying it. I really find that it's kind of more of a, I think sophisticated is the wrong word to use, but more of kind of like a high-end meal kit, but I find it to still be pretty affordable. I guess what I should say is not necessarily high-end, but I feel like the recipes are a little bit more varied in terms of different cultures, and I really like that about it. So this is a chicken shawarma bowl, and basically I'm going to go ahead and adapt the rice recipe to make in my rice cooker. So I just followed the manufacturer's instructions for the ratio of water to rice. Got that in there with some turmeric and sauteed onion, and I always do that first because it does take about 35 to 40 minutes to finish a big pot of rice, so I always want to get that started first. And now I'm making the sauce that goes with the bowls. So this is some sour cream, some parsley, some other ingredients that I whisked all together. And then for the chicken, I went ahead and cut that up, and then that goes into a bowl with a little bit of olive oil and turmeric and some different spices, salt and pepper. I'm gonna let that sit aside and just let the flavor penetrate a little bit while I chop up some of the veggies. So I diced up some tomato, and then I went ahead and washed some romaine lettuce, and I'm just spinning that dry. Here's a look at my nice, delicious, fluffy rice after it came out of the rice cooker. And then basically all you have to do is assemble the bowls. I also added some cucumber to this because I had some in the fridge. But everyone really liked this. And what I like about it is you can kind of change what's in everyone's bowl according to what they like. So it's very customizable. Okay, so next up is another recipe from Marley Spoon. This is a burrata ravioli with fresh corn and bacon. I saw this recipe on the site and I was like, oh, I have to try this because my kids love ravioli. Obviously, what kid doesn't love ravioli? But I thought the combination of this one was really unique, and I also really wanted to try the burrata ravioli. So I went ahead and cut some corn off the cob. I'm also chopping up some bacon, and then I'm going to mince some chives. I will say this one was a little bit more kind of labor intensive than some of the recipes that I've followed from them, but I don't mind doing that every once in a while, even if it's during the week. You know, it kind of just depends on what we have going on. I usually try to save stuff like this for a night when I have a little bit more time. This is a yellow tomato that I also grabbed from the farmer's market, so I'm just slicing that. I'm going to have this on the side with some salt and pepper. I'm going to bake a fresh loaf of bread from Wild Grain, and then I'm also going to put some fresh basil and burrata on this. And so we're going to have the ravioli dish, and then on the side we're going to have the tomatoes with burrata. So it actually turned out very well because, you know, I could eat burrata for every single meal in the summer with tomatoes. I don't know about you guys, but I added it to the top of the tomatoes, just seasoned it with salt, pepper, a little bit of olive oil. I went ahead and cooked all of the bacon to render the fat, poured out most of the fat from the skillet, and then you just want to make sure you drain the bacon really well on paper towels. It comes out super crispy. And then I put the corn back in the skillet with some of the sauce ingredients, boiled the ravioli, added that back to the corn sauce along with the bacon. And this was a surprisingly delicious combination. It's really something that I honestly would have never thought to put together unless someone sent me these ingredients. It was really good. And then we love that tomato salad on the side as well. Today for lunch, my sister is coming over and we are having Uncle Roger's creamy chili crab pasta. I'm also gonna cook some of these Mila beef soup dumplings. Super good if you've never had them. Actually, all of their stuff is good. I have ordered tons of their noodles and dumplings, sauces, everything's delicious. So I'll put a link and a discount code down below. But this is super interesting because it comes with several different strengths, I guess you would say, of sauces. So they have nephew sauce, uncle sauce, and then this is the anti-oil, which is Carolina Reaper chili oil. This stuff is super duper hot. I've got a couple different pans set up here, so I'm gonna put one of their dumpling liners in this steamer pan. This is actually an always steamer pan. I don't recommend these pans at all. In fact, the only thing I use this ridiculous pan for is to steam vegetables and dumplings. I've got a pot of water boiling back there for the noodles. Everything is so cool. It comes in this little pack. And then the sauce for the noodles is here. So the idea is that you can make 2 servings out of this and then see which one you can tolerate. I'm gonna go ahead and mix both of these together, and I'm also gonna make it a little less spicy with some milk and some butter, because I've tried these before and even the nephew sauce is very hot. So you can tell my sister just arrived because obviously my dog started going nuts, but this is super easy to put together, but don't let that fool you. It does really taste super delicious. So I heated up the sauce in some boiling water while I'm steaming the dumplings, and then I just boiled the noodles separately. And then I'm gonna go ahead and combine everything together in a skillet. So once the sauce is done, I'm removing that from the water. I would have used regular milk, but I was honestly all out and I had a can of evaporated milk in the pantry, so that worked just as well. Combine that with the spicy crab sauce and a little bit of butter. And someone said to also like that you can add shredded cheese and that will tone down the spice a little bit. I don't know, that seems a little bit odd to me, although I'm not opposed to trying it. However, I do think the milk and butter tones it down a good bit. I mean, you guys know, I like spicy stuff. Like I feel like I'm not a wuss. Like I really do like spicy food. I just don't like my food so spicy that I can't taste it. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, I think that toning it down a little bit is perfect. Anyway, we had that with dumplings and some sauce, and this pasta is so good. I will say it is a little bit spendy, obviously because it's made with real crab, but if you guys want to try it, I highly recommend it. So Friday night is normally pizza night for us, but we were not feeling it on this day, so I decided to ask the kids what they wanted. Connor answered first, and he said that he would love to have homemade crunch wraps. I've made these before, so it's definitely not a complicated recipe, but I'm just trying to kind of take you through my week and show you guys what I cook on a weekly basis when I'm just trying to meal plan with what's in my pantry and my freezer. So I cooked my taco meat, shredded up some lettuce. I've got my tomatoes, nacho cheese, tortillas, sour cream. I had some corn tortillas in the back of the fridge, so I went ahead and just crisped those up instead of buying tostadas. And then I did not have the larger like burrito sized tortillas, so I kind of had to cut one up and make a top so I could seal up the crunch wrap. But that turned out great. This is definitely, I would say, healthier than what you're going to get at Taco Bell, and it tastes a lot better too. Thank you guys so much for watching this video and hanging out with me this week. I really, really appreciate it. If you want to upgrade your outlet covers, please check out Snap Power. That discount link is down below. I seriously love these things. They have transformed my hallways and my kitchen backsplash. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.